Have you ever wondered what kind of sex life did the ancient Egyptians lead? Well, we have found some answers to that question in their tombs. From petrifying practices to disturbing rituals, here are 10 of the most disturbing sex customs of ancient Egypt. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe for more. Number 10, incest was common. For the Egyptians, family ties were of utmost importance. Family members often lived together in large households with multiple generations under one roof, so it was common for men to marry their female cousins. In fact, it was considered a good way to keep wealth and power within the family. Now, you might think this is pretty weird, but back then, it was a way to maintain bloodlines and ensure the continuation of their legacy. But if you're like me, you're probably thinking, yeah, that's still pretty weird. But hey, they believed it was the best way to honor their gods. So who are we to judge? No. 9, sexual abduction. Now let's talk about something a little less cozy, sexual abduction. Back in ancient Egypt, it was totally okay to snatch someone, force them into marriage, and then, do the deed. And let's just say it wasn't always a smooth ride. The bride and groom might have been strangers to each other, so the lady might put up a fight. But once she was taken to the bedroom, well, there was no turning back. Talk about a wild entry into matrimony. Just goes to show you that ancient Egypt wasn't all pyramids and parties. It had its share of rough patches too. Number 8, grooms underage. Oh boy, this one's gonna take a minute to explain. The age of consent in ancient Egypt was, well, pretty low. We're talking as young as 12 years old. But hold your horses before you start judging them. It wasn't all sunshine and roses for these pint-sized partners. See, at that age, girls were expected to be married and having kids was a must. They needed to bear children to ensure the continuation of their bloodline. And for boys, well, they were considered men at the ripe old age of 15. At that point, they could get hitched and start popping out babies too. Now, I know this sounds shocking to us today, but back then it was all about procreation and keeping the family tree growing. So while it may seem weird to us now, it was just another day in ancient Egypt. No, 7. Sex toys. If you thought sex toys were a modern invention, think again. The ancient Egyptians were well versed in the art of pleasure, and they had a whole range of sex toys at their disposal. Made from materials like wood, ivory, and stone, these toys were designed for both men and women. Some were used for vaginal insertion, while others were employed for anal play. The Egyptians truly believed in exploring all avenues of pleasure, and they weren't afraid to experiment. Now that's a mindset we can all learn from. No judgment, just good vibes and a healthy dose of fun. Number 6, male prostitution. In ancient Egypt, male prostitution was not only accepted, but also highly popular. Men of all social classes engaged in sexual acts for money, gifts, or even as an offering to the gods. It was seen as a way to honor the gods and ensure their continued blessings. Now that might sound strange to us today, but for the ancient Egyptians, it was just another form of devotion. They believed that by engaging in sexual activity, they were helping to spread life and fertility, which was a highly valued concept in their culture. So while it might seem shocking to us now, it was just another day in ancient Egypt. No, 5. The queen's harem. The Egyptian queens had a bit of a reputation for, well, being a bit too friendly with their staff. In fact, it was common for them to have harems filled with both male and female lovers. It didn't matter if you were a foot soldier or a high-ranking official. If the queen took a fancy to you, well, you were in for a night or day that you wouldn't forget. It wasn't just about pleasure either. These liaisons were also a way to strengthen alliances and secure the throne. By having children with powerful men, the queen could ensure that her bloodline remained strong and her power secure. Talk about a power move. Number 4, sacred prostitution. In ancient Egypt, prostitution was considered a sacred profession. Temple prostitutes were highly respected members of society, and were even considered to be in the service of the gods. They were believed to be intermediaries between the mortal world and the divine realm, and their sexual activity was seen as a way to bring people closer to the gods. These temple prostitutes were often given gifts and donations by worshippers, and were even allowed to participate in religious festivals and rituals. It was a far cry from the stigmatized profession we know today. 3. The festival of the Feast of the Hapi. The ancient Egyptians knew how to throw a party, especially when it came to celebrating their love for beer. During the Feast of the Hapi, also known as the Festival of the Drunkards, the streets of Thebes would come alive with music, dancing, and lots of beer. The celebration lasted for 3 days, and during that time, anything went. People dressed up in costumes and masks and let loose like there was no tomorrow. It was a time for revelry and debauchery, and the ancient Egyptians embraced it with open arms. Beer flowed freely, and the party didn't stop until the wee hours of the morning. 2. Delicate balance. In ancient Egypt, the pharaohs kept a delicate balance between two powerful groups, the priests and the women. While the priests were revered for their knowledge and power, the women held the key to the pharaoh's affection and therefore access to his ear. It was a balancing act that kept everyone on their toes, but it was essential to maintaining order in the kingdom. The women were not just eye candy either. They were intelligent and cunning and knew how to use their position to their advantage. They could make or break a pharaoh's reign, and they knew it. This created a unique dynamic in Egyptian society and played a significant role in the way things were run. Number 1, a gift of love. In ancient Egypt, gifts were not just a way to show appreciation, but also a means of strengthening bonds and alliances. And what better way to show your love and affection than with a gift of, well, yourself? That's right. In ancient Egypt, it was customary for women to offer themselves as gifts to their husbands, families as a symbol of their commitment and devotion. It was a way to solidify the bond between the two families and ensure a lasting union. This practice may seem bizarre to us today, but it was an important part of Egyptian culture and tradition. It's a fascinating glimpse into a world where customs and traditions were very different from our own. And there you have it, folks. 10 of the most disturbing sex customs of ancient Egypt, from incest to sexual abduction, male prostitution to the gift of love. The ancient Egyptians certainly had their own unique way of doing things. What do you think? Were you shocked, surprised, or maybe a little disgusted? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.